Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? I'm coming at you with another job journey update, letting you guys know how everything is going on my new job. As I told you a couple of months ago, um, I started my new job at the assisted living slash AFC home, and I've made it to my 90 days. So I made it to my 90 days, so I'm gonna be getting a little raise. And it's a little shaky during that time. I was a little nervous because they was firing in that 90 days. They fired a lot of people, so I was a little nervous because I was like, why are they firing so many people? So I was a little nervous during that time. I mean, when you start a job, um, you got to try to get acclimated and get used to doing the job, and get your routine down packed and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, and at the same time you're trying to make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, and you got to come to work, and um, so your employer can build that confidence in you. I mean, when you first start a job, it's important for your employer to build that confidence in you. If they don't build that confidence, then and you have to, during that time, you have to build their confidence. They gotta they got to believe that they can count on you. They got to believe that they can count on you to come to work and do your job and do what you're supposed to do. And so that 90 days is a time that you have to pretty much prove yourself, and that you're capable of doing the job, and you're capable of doing it well, and you're getting to work, and that you're reliable. They can count on you to be there and all that. Which, that part, I ain't had no problem with that part because I've always had good attendance on all my jobs. But it was just making sure that I was dotting my I's and crossing my T's. So I did make it through the 90 days. So I'm happy. I'm excited. And so that's a blessing. I thank Jehovah God for that. Um, Remember when I told you guys that I had to pass meds and I was a little nervous about that? Um, they the meds that I have, actually, I work third shift, and so the meds that I have to pass on my shift is really not that many. And so actually, I kind of, believe it or not, I kind of pushed it a little bit because they was having someone come up and pass the meds until they got me med trained. I actually kind of pushed the envelope a little bit because, I was looking at being considerate of my coworkers, for them to have to come up and pass the meds for me. I realized it wasn't that many. And so I was like looking at it, I was like, well, sure, I can pass them little meds. That's not that big of a deal. So the meds that I had to pass on my shift is really not that much. And so the manager on third, which happens to be my son's baby mama, she trained me one time how to do them, and after that, I had them down pat. So for the most part, I mean, I'm not passing any major meds. Like I said, it's not that many. But I've come to realize it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm still not happy, totally happy about doing it because at the end of the day, it is a nurse's job. And, you're basically uh, getting paid $10 an hour to do what nurses do. So I'm not happy about that aspect of it. And um, it is a liability. But I'm very careful. I'm very careful. I'm making sure that I'm getting the right meds to the right people, and it's just about taking your time because they have everything. Everything is computerized. And so that makes it a lot easier too because everything is on the computer. And so you have the resident's picture, you got what they get, and you got what time they get it. So I just do one at a time and take my time, and it's a piece of cake. It's really not that hard. So and I'm used to it, and everything. So I'm doing pretty good as far as that. I was a little nervous about it in the beginning, but I'm doing pretty good. Um, Like I told you guys that, like I said, there's a couple of things going on in this place where I work at. Downstairs is assisted living, and those people need a little bit more assistance. Some of them need our full assist. I'm upstairs at the AFC, which is adult foster care home, and um, for the exception of a couple of people, most of the people up on my floor is independent. So I love working up there. It's slow pace. I can pace myself. I can sit down a little bit. I'm the only one that's up there, so I don't have I'm not dealing with a lot of drama. I love that. Um, there's 3 or 4 young ladies that work downstairs. I hear them talking and going on, but I don't get in it. I mind my business, and I just keep doing what I got to do. And so I love that aspect of it. I love the fact that I can work by myself, and because I think I work better independently. I'm finding that I work better independently, that I work better by myself. You know, um, I don't know why that is. I think maybe I might have some. I think that I might have some introverted qualities. I did actually a video talking about introverts versus extroverts. If you look back in my video archives, you'll find it. I did it back in the winter, last winter, I think. Um, I'm finding that I may be more of an introvert. I may have more. I have some extroverted qualities, but um, I'm finding that I having more introverted qualities because I actually prefer to work alone. Because like some of the ladies that work downstairs, they say they don't like working upstairs, and one of the reasons they say is because they don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have a problem in not having anybody to talk to because I think on other jobs, I like actually my last not the assistant or not the home care job, but the daycare center, and then before that I worked at assisted living, and both of those jobs were I was around other females, and there's a lot of problems that come with being around other females, the cattiness, you got to deal with the attitudes, and you got to deal with all the gossip and the competitiveness and all that kind of stuff, particularly the daycare job. The daycare job was highly competitive. And you got to deal with that, and then you got to deal with the cattiness, and that's just putting it nicely. I could say something else, but I don't, I'm not gonna go there. But then you got to deal with the attitudes, and then you got to deal with the gossip. All that stuff got on my nerves. And like I said, I wasn't innocent. I wasn't innocent. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was innocent because I wasn't. Because a lot of times that I would kind of get a little caught up in that, not meaning to, but you know. So I like that aspect working this job because I can be separate from all that. I don't because I was talking to the director and she said they have cameras, and she was telling me that she could actually hear us, and she could not only see us in the cameras, but she can also hear us. And she says she also can talk to us through the camera. I'm like, wow, that kind of freaks me out. And so she she was telling me how she heard some of the young ladies down there, and some of the things that they be. She said that some of the stuff that they be saying and all that, because she said she can hear all that. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit, but it is what it is. They have to make sure that the residents are getting the proper care. They have to make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them for having the cameras. And I'm like an open book. It's like, go ahead and watch me. I don't have no problem with you watching me because I know I'm gonna be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So, but she said she could actually talk to us through the camera. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, what? And um, so they can hear you. They can hear us and everything through the cameras, and so um I can hear everything. I can hear some of the stuff that they be talking about, whatever. But like I said, I don't get involved in that. I get to stay separate from that. And it helps me spiritually as well because I don't get caught up in all that. I don't get caught up in all that gossip and all that kind of stuff. And so it makes it nice. Every now and then someone comes up and I'll have a little conversation with them. But I'm not, I'm not working closely with these other females. And I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not nice. They are nice. They're nice and everything. But it's just that after being on other jobs and having to deal with all that, um, it's just very refreshing to work a job where I don't have to um, be in close contact with other females on a constant basis. I do find that I prefer working alone. I told the director that I work better alone. I mean, as long as I know what I got to do, I know what's expected of me and I know what's required of me. As long as I know what's required of me and expected of me, I have enough work ethic to do what I'm supposed to do. So, and I think the director is has built that confidence in me. Like I said, she's very nice, she's very approachable, and she's also very funny. And so I love that about her. And she said that she's gonna go ahead and keep me up there because she also takes my age into account. And that's what I like about her too, because she's like in her late 40s. So she takes my age into account and she understands that it's probably it's easier for me upstairs because like I said, downstairs the residents are more, they got more residents that's full of cysts. And because of my back, I can't do a lot of heavy lifting and stuff like that. So she said that she's going to go ahead and keep me upstairs, which I love that. I really appreciate her doing that. And so that part, I love it. I love it. And so everything is going great. Everything is going good. It's just like, they're the type of people, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Um, like I said, because we're taking care of people, we're taking care of elderly people, and if somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to be doing, it's a huge, it could be a liability for them. They can get in a lot of trouble because they have to account to state. They have to account, so they have to make sure that everything is being done like it's supposed to be, and people are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. So I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them for being strict, as far as that. So but as long as you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing and everything, um they're cool with you. You coming to work like you're supposed to. It's a little bit of overtime, which I have no here lately. Since I've been working, I've had to work a little overtime, but I haven't had to work much, so that I'm cool with that. Actually, when I did work the little overtime, my checks was looking pretty good. So I'm not mad at that, but it's not a whole lot of overtime. I haven't had to work tons of overtime, so I'm cool with that. So, and like I said, the director is real nice and she's real considerate. She takes into account people on third shift. She's not trying to work us like that. So, like I said, she's very considerate and she's very mindful of that and everything. And she's super cool. I mean, I love the director. She is super cool. And so, I think I'm gonna roll with this job for a while. I think I'm gonna roll with it for a while. Like I said, it's very conveniently located. It's around the corner. I love it. The only issue that I'm having right now that I'm pretty upset about is they have open enrollment for insurance, for the insurance, and the state just cut my Medicaid off. I just got my Medicaid cut off, and so I wasn't even in the job 90 days before they want to cut my Medicaid off. And so, because apparently in the state of Michigan, I don't know how it works in other states, but in the state of Michigan, they have an income cap. And so they go by your family size, and you can only make so much money. Um, if you make over that amount, then you don't no longer qualify for Medicaid. And so I guess the caseworker did her little calculations and she found out that, I was making more than what the cap was. And so there, as of next month, I will be cut off my Medicaid. And so I said, okay, well, I might have to break down and go ahead and sign up for their insurance. Now I'm sitting at work and I'm reading through these papers, And I said, now I know I'm not going crazy, but it said that you have to spend, I mean, before the insurance, I'm going to talk to the director just to be 100% sure, but they said before the insurance will start covering anything, you have to you have to pay $6,000 out of pocket. In other words, they'll be taking money out of my check every month, but they won't be covering anything until I spend 6,000 over $6,000. That's supposed to be the deductible. And I looked at that. I said, "What? Are you serious?" I said, "You mean to tell me that you're going to be taking money out of my check every month for insurance, but you're really not going to cover me because I got to spend over $6,000 before you start paying anything?" So I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I literally looked at that. Well, after I got done reading through all that, um, and I thought about the fact that my Medicaid was cut off. I literally sat there and cried. I mean, I was in tears. I mean, I'm at the age where I can't afford to be without insurance. I need my insurance. So right now, I'm a little facing a little dilemma right now because I'm not feeling confident in getting this insurance because to me it don't make no sense for you to be taking money out of my check and you not gonna cover me until I spend $6,000, and that can, I mean, come on now. I mean, in other words, I'll be paying my own doctor's bills. If I go to the hospital, I'm gonna pay my own hospital bill until it reaches $6,000, and then once it reaches $6,000, then they'll start covering me. I'm like, seriously? So I'm upset about that. I'm not feeling confident with getting this insurance, and I'm upset at the fact that I'm getting my Medicaid cut off. So I'm going to do a little bit of research and find out what else is out there, because I have a pre-existing condition. I have a thyroid condition, and so I don't know. I'm at the age where I really shouldn't be going without health insurance. So I'm kind of upset about that, a little depressed about that. So I'm gonna talk to the director and find out so she can give me more details on it. But no, I'm not happy about that at all. I'm not happy about it at all. So that's the only thing I'm upset as far as this job. I know with smaller companies, that's the difference between working for a big corporation versus a smaller company, because I've never had to deal with this, but I've had insurance. I have taken out insurance on other jobs, and they never said that you got to spend so much money before we'll start covering you. And so I've never been faced with this dilemma. I've never had that before. So I know with the smaller companies tend to have crappy insurance because of the fact they are a smaller company. Um, that's good that they have the insurance, but I mean, to me, it just don't make no sense. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. If you guys were enrolled in your employer's insurance and you had a large deductible like that, let me know in the comment section what you think. But I'm upset about that. I read that paperwork. I literally cried. Literally. So at this point, I got to pray about it. I don't know what I'm going to do as far as my insurance situation. So, but that's my job journey update. Stay tuned. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. This is Sweet Jean.